Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rants alongside Tommy Chrysan. I am coming to you from the Dutchtown High School baseball locker room as the Baton Rouge Rougarou baseball camp. Over 50 kids going on right now at Dutchtown High. So I stepped inside here for Sports Shorts Daily. And, of course, Tommy's over at Court Street Cafe in downtown Port Allen, just a short 5 minutes from Pete Goolsbee Field. You can go to Court Street Cafe, have you a little dinner, and then pop over the bridge and be at Rougarou Land at Pete Goolsbee Field for a 7:05 first pitch. I think that should be everybody's plan. Go over there, have dinner, but don't eat too much. Save some room for the concession stand. And of course, we're presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Go to lasportshall.com. We'll be selecting the 2025 Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame class the third week of August. We'll make that selection public usually about the second week of September. It'll be right around the corner, and then we'll be preparing for that class and telling you all about it. I can tell you this, the folks that are going to most likely be in that class, pretty incredible once again. TK, a lot to get to today. Obviously, baseball in the news, not only just Rougarou, but Major League Baseball All-Star Game is next week. LSU baseball article came out today about their roster. There's a couple of big holes that Jay Johnson's going to have to fill this month in the transfer portal, as well as wait to see what happens with the draft. And that, as always, it plays a big role. The draft coming up the 14th, 15th of July. LSU football, good, continues with the good news, signing players in the offseason. But first, let's tell you about some good news for LSU baseball. And it's a surprising statistic when it comes to LSU baseball. But first off, Paul Skeens, no surprise. He makes the All-Star team, gets named to the All-Star team. I guess the surprise is that he's the only LSU Tiger that's been a former Tiger that's going to be in the All-Star game over in Dallas, in Arlington, Texas. We thought Aaron Nola, who has 10 wins and a 3.5 ERA and a whip that's literally 1.03, he deserves to be an All-Star. He's not going to be an All-Star this year. And Josh Smith, who was hitting over 300 for most of the season. He's dipped off the last couple of weeks. His average is below 300 now, but he's been very good defensively. It's his home field that they're playing the All-Star game in. He will not be in the All-Star game. And people wonder why. Well, don't forget, you have to have every team represented in an All-Star game. So that means the Oakland A's, who maybe, let's say on paper, maybe don't deserve, they have to have someone play. So that means every team is going to take up a spot in the All-Star game, regardless of whether they truly have the best player at that position or the best backup at that position. And I think that's probably the case when it comes to, say, someone like Aaron Nola, and why he's being left off is because you need to have someone represent. Because he surely, with 10 wins, Tommy, and a 3.5 ERA and his reputation and all that kind of stuff, I'm surprised he's not an All-Star.
Last week I said it on radio Saturday, I thought Smith and Nola would be All-Stars. And Nola is probably more of a snub than Smith. If you look at the numbers and the big picture and all of that. But, hey, it's the All-Star game. 32 first-timers on the All-Star team. That's a big number. That's half of the guys that are there. There's 31 on each team. So, I guess it is what it is. But Paul Skeens becomes the first ever first-round draft pick, 1-1, first-round, first pick, to make the All-Star team the following season in Major League Baseball history. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of story this guy's really writing, right? I mean, he's 5-0. His numbers are super duper impressive, and he's never left the game trailing. He doesn't have a decision in every game he started. And there's talk that he deserves to start the All-Star game. And as you said on the radio, MLB is all about viewers and ratings and all of that. And if Skeens starts in Texas, that's going to be a big thing. But what was surprising is he's the 14th player all time from LSU baseball to play in the All-Star game. I would have thought that number was bigger. And,
Right.
Of course, you got many guys who went more than once. But and then one other thing that jumped at me is only two players who played for Coach Bertman have ever been named All-Stars, Albert Bell and Paul Byrd, who's a member of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. So, but Skeens is now on that list of 14 guys. This goes way back to Connie Ryan and Alvin Dark and Joe Bill Adcock, who played in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. who, were LSU players named an All-Star team. So, and then after that, it's a run of names everybody's heard of. So, tip of the hat to Paul Skeens.
I was surprised by that statistic that only 2 players from the Skip Berman era played in an All-Star game. I would have thought Russ Springer, who played 18 years and, had a great career, probably, I'm sure, deserved to be in an All-Star team. Mark Guthrie, who played on 1 or 2 World Series championship teams with the Minnesota Twins, was an excellent reliever for a decade. Thought maybe he might have got in there. But, yeah, it is surprising. When it comes to Paul Skeens, Tommy, I'll say this. If he doesn't have a career-ending injury, he has a chance to be in the conversation from a standpoint of his size, his physical strength. I mean, you're talking about a horse. This guy is a horse. He is 22 years old. He's a grown man. He's got, he was a former in the Air Force, played catcher. So he's got that thick bottom half. He's got all the modern training. No one has a better work ethic. No one has more of a laser focus than he does. If he doesn't have a career-ending injury at some point in his career, he will go on to be considered one of the greatest pitchers of all time. He has Nolan Ryan type of ability in the modern era. And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what he's doing. Where did he pitch last? Where he walked off the mound and gave him a standing ovation? It was on the road.
Well, he pitched. I watched the game. He gave up a couple of homers, but
I'm just trying to think where he was. I can't remember.
It was in Pittsburgh because there were over 37.
No. This was on the road. He got a standing ovation in New York, I think. Maybe I'll have to look back at it. They posted it on social media about how amazing it was. The announcers pointed out. I watched the video. Paul Skeens leaves the mound, teams up. He's the 7th, 8th inning, and he gets a standing ovation from a visiting teams at a visiting team's ballpark. I mean,
Greg Schilling's saying that happened in St. Louis.
Okay, St. Louis, right? I mean, that doesn't happen. Like, that literally does not happen. It'll happen if a guy throws a no-hitter, but it doesn't happen when your team's losing by 5 or 6 runs and it's the 7th or 8th inning. I mean, that's the thing that's unbelievable about it, is that what Paul Skeens is doing right now is unprecedented. And it's the type of thing that is the story of the year, and he should be the starting pitcher in the All-Star game. Like, Major League Baseball's smart, and they're trying to grow viewership and try to grow young people to the game. You have to make that guy the face of the league.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He deserves to start it. He deserves to win Rookie of the Year, unless somebody goes, absolutely nuts in the final 3 months, but 2.5 months. So, no, it's a remarkable story. And when you go back to the Air Force thing, and Dylan Cruz hit a home run off of him while he was pitching for Air Force in Alec Box Stadium. I mean, there's a lot of ties to Baton Rouge, to LSU, and then, of course, Dayton Olivia Dunn, the gymnast, national championship gymnast at LSU. It's just a deep story with, a lot of frills in it. But what he's doing on the mound is unprecedented. Every time he goes out there, it's something that never happened before in Major League Baseball history. And as we always talk about, baseball is a game driven by numbers and stats and comparisons. What did anybody else do? Did anybody else ever do this? He's doing things that hadn't been done. And obviously, there's a long list of great pitchers who have done lots of great things.
The story of Josh Smith, I know that's your team, the Rangers. I know you kind of were a little irritated, surprised that he didn't make the All-Star game, the Catholic High grad.
Yeah, I mean, I was – my daughter's a big baseball fan. Her and I were talking yesterday morning in Covenant. I said, I fully expect him to be picked. And she goes, yeah, like he should be. She's into it more than some people. And then I was like, really, it did catch me by surprise that he was not named when they put out all that information, late afternoon, 5, 6 o'clock, it all came out yesterday. So, and he just got to turn the page and keep playing hard. And, he got in there because of an injury to Josh Young, third baseman for the Rangers. He got in and he's played some third, played some short. He's also been very good defensively, and he's got a lot of doubles. But you can only take 31 and every team has to be represented. You make a key point there. And Josh Smith won't be there. Now, I guess something could happen in the next week. A player or two decides not to go or gets injured, and maybe a Nola could slip in, maybe a Smith could slip in, but that just remains to be seen.
No question, if they want to get it right, they'll put Nola in there. 10 wins in that ERA. Heck,
Yeah, he more than Smith, as I said. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as the All-Star game is concerned, I know we had this debate each and every year. I mean, I think we're all in a unanimous decision at this point. It's pretty much easy. Major League Baseball is the best All-Star game of them all. I mean, football literally doesn't have one. In basketball, there's literally no defense whatsoever. It's a dunk contest. At least baseball, regardless of who plays, they're playing to win.
Yeah, they are. And I wish they'd go back to wearing the uniforms of their team. That won't happen this year. That's been talked about the last couple of years. But it'll be in Arlington. You got the Futures game on Sunday night, which will have Dylan Cruz in it. Trey Morgan was named to that, but injured and not going to participate. You'll have the Home Run Derby. I mean, it's going to be a big festive week over there in Arlington. Beautiful ballpark. It's still on my list to get to that part, but it'll be fun to watch. No question about that. I can't hear you, Ronnie. Lost your volume. While Ronnie reconnects there, we'll tell you about Court Street Cafe. Jason and the staff, Chancey, they do a great job here. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. We had a big crowd for breakfast this morning. 805 Court Street in Port Allen. Connect with them on Facebook and Instagram. You'll learn about the lunch special, the dinner special, the drink special, the Saturday night steak special, the Sunday brunch. Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. We want you to check it out. Ronnie always says just a couple of minutes over the Mississippi River Bridge. Plenty of parking. Got a nice patio out front. And I want you to connect with Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. And do stop by here if you haven't done so yet. Court Street Cafe in Port Allen.
So the Baton Rouge Rougarou last night were in action against the Acadiana Cane Cutters in the I-10 Basin Battle presented by Relief Windows. And the Rougarou, of course, taking on Acadiana, won in a thrilling fashion on Saturday, 7-6. On Sunday, 0-0 ball game, headed to the top of the sixth, and then a lightning delay, which then led to a rain delay, which led to a game being suspended. So we will resume that game against Acadiana on Saturday. They'll play at 5 o'clock, and then the second game will start at 7. Saturday night will be Women's Hospital night. Everybody gets in absolutely free on Saturday for both games now, thanks to Women's Hospital. We appreciate them, and we'll tell you more about Women's Hospital night later in the week. But on Saturday, 5 o'clock, we'll resume 0-0 top of the sixth, and then we'll go from there. We may even have a little surprise for you about Saturday's game. We'll tell you on Wednesday once we get confirmation. But something you may, again, one of those, something you've never seen before kind of things may happen, or you hadn't seen since Tommy was in college, may happen on Saturday in that doubleheader. But getting back to the Rougarou in action off today. Got the Dutchtown High baseball camp, the Rougarou camp at Dutchtown High going on today and tomorrow. Coach Chris Scheck-Snyder over there doing such a great job with their program, and the facilities are amazing. That's going on today and tomorrow. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday night, the Rougarou are in action in Youngsville at Fabacher Field. We'll take on the Acadiana Cane Cutters. Tuesday, Wednesday, they'll be at home Thursday, Friday against Victoria Generals, the first place team in the league, and then again Saturday, Sunday. So playing Acadiana 6 of the first 8 games since the 4th of July break, and that's big because that's who we're battling in the month of July to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, no question about that. So go to brrougarou.com. You got the schedule. You can buy some merchandise, get tickets. brrougarou.com, and don't forget to connect on social media with the Baton Rouge Rougarou, Facebook, Accent Shilling, and Chris says Hawaiian shirts 20% off the top at all Rougarou games. Good call there, Chris. I'll make sure I pass that along to Mr. Ronnie Rance. No question about that. He's having a little trouble with the internet there in the Dutchtown High School locker room. They got the Baton Rouge Rougarou baseball camp going on. Hey, New Orleans Saints a week away from reporting. They'll do camp out in Irvine, California, due to some construction and stuff going on at their facility on Metairie in an airline highway of Mattery. Saints, we'll talk more about them later in the week, but they're going to get their camp going, getting ready for their season. A lot of question marks with the Saints. That'll be interesting. And Ronnie, LSU football continues to hit the recruiting trail, get those commitments. Now, they lost the wide receiver guy who decommitted and went to Oregon Moore, but they continue to load up on football players. But you made the point on radio Saturday. That commitment thing is not what it once used to be.
No,
no. It's a little fuzzy and warm, and okay, that's cool. We got that guy. But, until, like we always said, until that name is official, and with the NIL now, it's all different. But you do have, LSU football appears to be on social media just about every day, landing a player or possibly landing a player. And so Brian Kelly and his staff are working hard.
It used to be that when you get 25 commitments, and when I say used to, I mean like maybe 10 years ago, if you got a 25 commitments pre-signing period, you would probably anticipate 3 or 4, maybe as many as 5 at the most decommitting, and then having to replace them. And now, if you have 25 commitments, it's at least half that are going to leave you, flip, go search somewhere else. And then the worst part is that as soon as they sign that paper, it means nothing. We might as well not even sign the paper, Tommy, because they can leave at any point in time and transfer anyway. So it just it's this whole system is broke, and NCAA's got to figure out a way to fix it.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go back about 15 years. The Big Ten used to have an unwritten rule that if a kid committed to Wisconsin, the other teams could not contact him. It was an unwritten rule that, he made that commitment, so we can't. When Urban Meyer got to the Ohio State, he said, the hell with that rule. I'm going to keep recruiting these kids. And then, of course, everybody changed it. But, that's less than 20 years ago. But it's just a different world. We keep saying that, but it's true. And, you got to embrace it if you want to be
Something's got to give, because when you have head coaches at UCLA wanting to be coordinators at Ohio State, when you have head coaches at Washington, the baseball team wanting to be assistants in the SEC, the world's shrinking, right? You're now having 2 and 3 power conferences, and you're having coaches that would rather be assistants than head coaches because they just don't want the headache. Again, you have coaches that rather go coach in the pros than in college. It used to, because you don't have to recruit. The pros have contracts at least, and they need to get to the point where they have contracts. They're not college players. Just have contracts. Just have salary cap. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Make the salary cap $1 billion, but have a cap and have contracts so that players and coaches at least know what the heck they're dealing with from one year to the next, Tommy. Hey, I'm going to get going back to the Rougarou baseball camp over here at Dutchtown High. We'll be back on the air on Wednesday morning. Don't forget, you can follow along with the Rougarou on at TexasCollegiateLeague.com. That TexasCollegiateLeague.com is the name of our league. You can watch all the games on TV. We'll be on the road on Tuesday and Wednesday. If you want to watch, you can go to TexasCollegiateLeague.com. We'll be back home on Thursday night for Gordon McKernan night at the ballpark at 7 o'clock. We'll talk to you on Wednesday, Tommy.
All right, Ronnie, and also connect with the Rougarou on social media, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Just search for Baton Rouge Rougarou. They put out a ton of info, keep you posted on the specials and the sponsors and free ticket night things, Tremonti's Cheeseburger in Paradise night, and $2 hot dogs. They got all kind of things going on. So just connect on social media. You can go to brrougarou.com and connect on social media there, but we want you to do that. All right, one more time, we remind you about Court Street Cafe, breakfast, lunch, dinner, full-service bar right there behind me, daiquiris, all that good stuff for the summertime. Check them out in Port Allen. Jason and the staff do a super job at Court Street Cafe. Best way to keep up with them, connect on Facebook and Instagram. You'll learn all about the lunch specials, the dinner specials, the whole bit. All right, don't forget, we'll be back Wednesday for another episode of Sports Shorts Daily. And as we always say, like and share this show. I don't care where you're watching, Facebook, X, or YouTube. Like and share this show. Tell everybody about it. We're heating up in the summer and going to keep rolling. On behalf of Jason and the staff here at Court Street Cafe, on behalf of Ronnie Rance, I'm Tommy Christ saying, have a great day, everyone.